Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to apologize for the late delay. I've been really busy, preparing people for different interviews and preparing them for jobs and their exams. So I do apologize for that. Okay, I'm saying good evening because I'm working from home. Today's lesson focuses on how you engage beginners, be them adults or young people, into a conversation in English. Okay, so I am aware that in some countries English is taught in or at a very early stage. So for that reason, I have prepared this lesson that I would like to share with you, and I hope it proves beneficial, and I would appreciate your comments. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a mini lesson plan, not the full one. It's just a session, sort of minimized lesson plan. Okay, right. So we go into okay. So what you're going to do, well, at home, before you join the learners, the students or the pupils, make sure that you've got a target. You want some kind of learning outcomes. What is your objective? It's not just a lesson plan that I have posted a few weeks ago, but it's also what do you want the learners to achieve at the end of the lesson. And I've got an example here that we can read together. So for this particular lesson, which we'll go into details in a minute, the learning outcomes are, and I put them into, I had only three objectives or three learning outcomes, which were enough for a lesson of about an hour and 45 minutes. Okay, so by the end of the lesson, learners would have had an idea of what the reading assessment is like by practicing on practice paper A. So this is nothing to do with this video. It's to do actually with the exams, which I'm not going to post now, but that was a sort of a half an hour prior to the lesson I'm going to talk about. So please do ignore the first learning outcome, but I'm going to do something about it or send you an example in a few days' time. Okay, learn the spelling of a few verbs in the present simple tense, and most importantly, learned to use them in context with the third person. So we don't want the learners to focus on grammar. It is very important, like I always say, but use the grammar in a context, okay? And my third objective for this lesson is they would have learned to work individually and in groups after watching a short video through which they would have learned how to answer WH questions. Okay, so the lesson is based on a short video that the learners are going to watch. But before they watch the video, give them an introduction. In the video, there are some scenes of certain objects, of certain things that your learners, as beginners, mind you, this is a beginner's lesson, they don't know the names of these objects, or if they do, they might just have heard them and they cannot make the difference. For example, I'm going to share this one now. Hang on. No, not this. Wait. Yeah, this one. Okay. So take whatever you think is helpful for the learners, whatever you think they haven't come across it, whatever you think it's a new vocabulary item. So for this group, for example, I have designed this lesson for my trainees to teach it to their learners. So for example, the learners of the trainees don't know what the word post-it means. Okay, so it's a new vocabulary. This is just what I thought, but my trainees would certainly have come up with other words, or they have seen in the video or within the video, they have seen other images that they might have thought their learners wouldn't know about. Okay, but just initially, what I thought, these learners are beginners, they might not know the word post-it. Yeah, so I collected a few pictures, and you introduce the pictures and let them think. They might know what it is, they might tell you in their own languages, but they might not know. So this is a post-it. You introduce the vocabulary, Scrabble, because these pictures are actually in the video that we're going to watch together. Make them understand the difference between a library and a bookshop. Yeah, so you can go into a little bit of a discussion here. A library is where you go and borrow books. You should have a card, and you've got a limited time to return the books. And a bookshop, give them examples of the hometown where they live. They might have a bookshop where they go and actually buy books, pencils, pens, and things to do with school. And I put alphabets here because I just thought it's a little bit important, because the video contains alphabets. Okay, so this will be your starter. And as I said, you can add more. You can, take what is unnecessary, what you think is unnecessary. Okay, and after this, you already would have spent about half an hour. It depends on the number of the pictures you have used, and the learners would have got engaged into a short discussion about the pictures you have chosen. These are only samples. Okay, and then you move to the second part, which is comprehension. So for this particular session, I have written these 10 questions. They are directly related to the video that I have introduced to my trainees. So as you can see, they are all WH questions. Okay, they all begin with W and H. Okay, I have used the present simple tense because the group my trainees are teaching are beginners. Okay, so you move to the past simple or the past continuous or present perfect or the more complicated tenses when you know or when your learners progress. Okay, so you give them the handouts. You might want to choose to read the questions, or a better idea if you prompt the learners to read the questions. So, and I think that's a better idea, because if they are reading, you are listening and other learners are listening, and in this way you are tackling the pronunciation of your learners and also the comprehension, because they might come across a word that they don't know, but they are reading it. Okay, so you're doing everything when the learners are reading the questions. Okay, we're not looking at the answers yet because we don't know the answers. They haven't watched the video yet. Okay, so I'll just leave it for a couple of seconds here. You might want to take a screenshot. So this is comprehension, and the learners do have the questions in hand. All right, have you taken a screenshot? Okay, thank you. Okay, now we move to the third part of this lesson, which is speaking. Okay, but you only do this part after the learners have watched the video. Okay, so the part of the questions is done before. I'm sorry if I haven't mentioned that. The part of the comprehension, the WH questions, are looked at and explained before the learners have watched the question. Okay, sorry, I've watched the video. It's the night time. I'm quite tired. Okay, and the speaking part or the group discussion is a follow-up. So these questions here are used after the learners would have watched the questions. Okay, so that's why the nature of these questions are quite different from the WH questions. So for example, here, after they have watched I keep saying the questions, after they have watched the video, you ask them to describe the film in their own words. Yeah, what happened in the story? How does the film make you feel? What adjectives do you use to describe the old man? So they cannot answer these questions if they haven't watched the video. How do you think the young man feels after he discovers his father has read his book? What did you find most memorable about the film? What do you think is going to happen next in the story? Obviously, this is just a guide, but you can always change them. Okay, so please do take a screenshot just for a reference. And let's go one more time to the learning outcomes. Have you taken a screenshot? Okay, right. So your mini lesson plan consists of learning outcomes. Okay, like I said, ignore this one because it's to do with a little bit of the exam practice. So we've got 2 learning outcomes, which means what do you want the learners to achieve at the end of the lesson? Okay. Okay, I hope you have taken a screenshot. Now, introduce the session with some pictures related to the video. Just remember that I'm simplifying the lessons, okay? Yeah, right. And the second step is the comprehension, where you write some questions, put them in handouts and give it to the learners, talk about them, discuss them, look at the vocabulary, monitor the class, observe, ask questions, let them talk. Okay, let them make mistakes. Introduce WH questions. Give examples of how to answer a WH question. After that, watch the video with your students or learners, and then move to the speaking, which is a group discussion. Right, so now I'm going to stop sharing this and move to the video. But obviously, which I will share the link with you, but obviously you can do, you can do another video or anything of your choice. Okay. So now I'm going to dig out my little video. So my little video is from the same source as the previous video, which I think it was called The Other Pair, that I shared with you. So if I don't find the link here, please do go to the same link I sent you previously with the video called The Other Pair. Okay, so that is from the same source. All right, we're going to watch it together. And do have a look. Do revise your lesson thoroughly before you introduce it to your students.
Evening.
Evening.
May I ring that up for you?
Yes, please.
Have a good evening.
There isn't much talking in the video.
Repeat after me. A. And C.
C. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
No, not good. Not good.
Just the sounds that words make.
Cat, dog,
Calamari.
trash, on the beach.
Oh, good.
Farm, fresh. My son and I mowed the grass.
That's a gold star.
Gold star.
Unbelievable. Dad,
Hey, Tubbs, I read your book.
you read my book. Barman, give that man a bell.
Okay. Right. Okay, I stopped sharing it. This video brings, a big discussion and a very long one. You can actually do it over 2 hours, over 2 sessions. And it's not just about teaching the language, especially when using videos like this. It's emotional. It boosts the well-being and the confidence of the learners of any age. Whether they are young people or adults, and especially adults and their literacy. So it gives hope to people that as long as we are alive, it doesn't matter how old we are, we can still learn. We can still go to a school and we can still learn. Okay, so like I said, it is from the same source. If you go back to the other pair, one of the videos I posted before of the shoes, the other pair of the shoes, it is the same source. Do try it or try something similar, and all your comments are very welcome. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and thank you for everybody who is watching and subscribed. And I would like to apologize again for not sending anything this week, but like I said, I was really busy. Okay, have a lovely evening and see you soon. Bye-bye.